been a few season launches in your time. How does it differ for you this year?
Not a huge amount, really. It was relatively stock standard launch. I think what you see is the support corporately and fans base and sponsorship wise for the club. We're a serious AFL team, and it probably is highlighted this morning with so many guests in the room.
It seems to, from an outsider's perspective, seems to be a fairly low-key pre-season, not too many hiccups, not too many sort of newsworthy events. Is that how it's been? You've just got about your business and being able to tick off those KPIs?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's hard to really think about the external things because you're so focused on day to day and week to week, and really getting the best out of yourself. So, as a player and as an athlete, you don't really think too much of the noise. It's more about what we can be better at, how we can improve, and what are the areas that we need to really gain some advantages in. So, look, it's been a positive pre-season. The boys are fit. We're really looking forward to playing some footy soon.
What about yourself, Pat? What have you done to improve, if you can improve, for this season?
Look, I think if you're not looking to improve in this particular game, this industry, you're going to be found out really quickly. So I've been trying to work really closely with our forward line group, some of our emerging tools, and our small forwards to ensure that up forward we're really efficient, we use the ball well, and we can score effectively. So we've worked a little bit on our game plan in that regard, and clearly that's where I can improve.
The general feeling outside is that Matthew Pavlich needs help up forward. Do you think you've got that help with Taberner emerging last year, and then also Aitness possibly a contender?
Look, I think the external view potentially is that we have a bit of a void of key position players, but clearly it's been the club's interest and been the mantra for a couple of seasons now to draft young players in and develop them. And in Taberner and Aitness and Pearce down back and a few others, we're in really good hands, and I'm confident that that coupled with our ruck threats coming forward a bit will certainly be a handful for the opposition.
How do you think Aaron Sandilands going forward is really going to help the forward line?
Well, look, it'll be interesting. I think Ross alluded to it up on the stage that be a bit of a balancing act between getting an All-Australian ruckman forward and out of the midfield. Clearly, he's a dominant feature in there. We're going to have to use that to our ability, or to our advantage. But having him drop forward and take some marks and certainly not be outmarked is something that we're looking at.
How many tools do you think you can play?
I don't know, really, is the short answer. We've normally gone with, maybe one or two plus the ruckman. So I think most teams have at least two, potentially three, and that's probably where we'll go with.
Can we expect to see yourself, Matthew Taberner and Aitness all in the one forward line during the pre-season just to see how
it's certainly possible. Yeah, we've trained a lot throughout the pre-season, the three of us, Taberner, Aitness and myself. So, it's highly possible.
Obviously, the opening month you've got Port Adelaide, Geelong, West Coast and Sydney. I imagine the disappointment of finals last year, that's a pretty good precursor for this year as well, though.
Yeah, that's right. We want to play against the best and beat the best, and to get where we really want to get at the end of the year, we're going to have to be able to do that on a regular basis. So starting the season off with a bang, some enormous home games. The fans should be excited about that because I know the players are.
Do you see that as a clutch period there? If you could get 2 or 3 wins through that really sets you up for the year, though?
Any AFL game or any part of an AFL season is a clutch period because they're all critical. If you take one game lightly, you can be very quickly on the slippery slide down the ladder. So we go in every game wanting to win. We go into every game competing fiercely, and it won't be any different for any home and away game this year.
Ross?
The bloke behind you seems to be the man that might take the captaincy from you at some stage, but Ross Lyon mentioned Michael Walters as a captaincy potential. Can you just tell us a bit about him and maybe his leadership qualities?
Well, that's right. I don't think there's ever an heir apparent, regardless of what the external noise is. Internally, we've got some emerging leaders really blossoming, and that really speaks to Hayden Ballantyne, Michael Barlow, Michael Johnson, Michael Walters, a couple others, and Sonny. His story is phenomenal, really. You're talking about not being able to train with us, 3 or 4 seasons ago into an emerging leader within our footy club is tremendous, and we're rapt to see that, and that continues the trend for him.
Have you met with Colin Sylvia, and can you give us an update as to how much influence you may have over him in the next 6 months or so?
I've spoken with Colin a couple of times since the decision was made, and we're certainly offering all the support we can along that way. But Colin really needs to go back and work hard and prove that he wants to be back with the group, which certainly right at this point he's showing the actions that he does and he wants to, and the club is here to help him through that, but he's got some work to do.
Ross mentioned 21 players setting PBs in the 3K time trial. That must be a really good sign.
Yeah, it is, but it's only a base point. A 3K time trial, not many players actually go and run, well, no one runs a 3K in a game of footy, but clearly it gives you a really strong advantage leading into the season proper, and it means that the guys have really bought into the hard work in the off-season.
Were you one of the 21?
Out against,
Were you one of the
Equal.
21?
I was equal.
Will you have your
Wasn't
first,
better, wasn't worse.
You have your first hit out against Melbourne and just over.
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah.
Do you know how much game time?
No.
The significance of Luke McFarlane running a PB in the 3K, how is important to your defence, Matthew?
Extremely important. I mean, All-Australian defender, so experienced, the leader of the club, just a tremendous player, and one of the players I don't like playing against in match simulation drills at training, because he doesn't know any other way than 100%, and that's what he did in the 3K. He literally collapsed and, and crawled across the line to register just a PB at 33. It's pretty special, and he's a pretty special person.
And you mentioned that you want to play every game, but is it perhaps more realistic in Luke's case that he may have to be managed and maybe play a reduced number of games to get him ready for the big games you hope to play?
I think that's pretty accurate, yeah. It's more realistic for Luke given his back end of the years just gone. He's missed chunks of footy, really big chunks of footy at the back end of the season, so that's the potential. But I think he and I are in a similar case. We really want to play every game because it's a special group to be a part of, and it's a special time for the football club. What that actually means as the season progresses, we don't know, but there's no plan in place as yet to be managed.
You said, it's a special group and you really want to be part of it a couple of times today. Do you sort of feel this may be your best chance at a premiership, obviously potentially being your last year as well?
I haven't really thought about that at all. All I know is we focus on day in, day out, working hard, being resilient, being uncompromising, and whatever that means at the end of the season, so be it. But I know that this group is absolutely committed to the cause, and our fans should be so proud of the work they've done in the pre-season. What it means at the end of the year, I wish I had a crystal ball, but it gives us half a chance to compete regularly.